Kathy Griffin intended to create a national firestorm with her bloody beheading stunt this week. She did, and it backfired, resulting in public scorn, the loss of sponsorships and gigs, and even her New Year's Eve hosting job on CNN. Both President Trump and the First Lady voiced their disgust with the comedian's grotesque attempt for attention, and even Griffin admitted she went too far in a video posted online. But today, she wasn't very contrite, claiming she was the one who was wronged in a tearful and awkward press conference.
This bully and this president, of all people, is going to come after me? He picked the wrong redhead. If you don't stand up, you get run over. And what's happening to me has never happened, ever, in the history of this great country, which is that a sitting president of the United States and his grown children and the First Lady are personally, I feel, personally, trying to ruin my life forever. You guys know him. He's never going to stop. It's quite clear to me that they're trying to use me as a distraction, and I'm not going to be collateral damage for this fool. I don't think I will have a career after this. I'm going to be honest. He broke me. He broke me. He broke. And then I was like, no, this isn't right. It's just not right. And I apologized because that was the right thing to do, and I meant it. And then I saw the tide turning. There's a bunch of old white guys trying to silence me, and I'm just here to say that's wrong. You shouldn't silence a comic.
Oh, my God.
Honestly. All right, Jesse's still finishing the pizza he was chowing down right before we started, so let's start with Greg. Do you have a theory about what's going on there? Because to me, she planned the whole thing out.
This is an incredible orchestration. I mean, this is so fake. The fact that she can't generate tears when she's crying. Let's start from the beginning. She talked about this on camera, what she was planning on doing. Then she did it. Immediately, the apology was fast and scripted. It was there. It was clean. Everything was right. And then immediately, this isn't a matter of days. There is a lawyer with her to create the victimhood storyline. She's now Joan of Arc. Yeah. It's all of a sudden, the story, the narrative is built for her, and she starts talking about all of these things. This was already planned and planted, premeditated, and it's so sad that this is what she has to do because she's so irrelevant. And by the way, she keeps saying she's a comic, which is funny because she never explains the actual
joke. What was funny? I know.
What was the punchline?
Yeah, like she said, I didn't intend to. Yes. What did she intend to do?
We have no idea. The one thing that is, it's the comedian's excuse to say it's a joke. But you know what? We all have that excuse. A comedian shouldn't have more of a right to be crass or crude. We should all have that right. So I am tired of that. But the other thing that kills me about this is that she paraded a picture of a decapitated head of a president, and she's claiming that she's bullied.
Right.
I mean, that is amazing. I got to hand it to her.
I think that one of the things that was the worst part of this, Kimberly, is that there are people who are bullied. There are women who are attacked unfairly and that are harassed. And she basically made a mockery of all of that and did them a real disservice today.
You're absolutely right. It's a great point. She stole their truth. This is what's sad. When I see somebody like this, having worked as a former prosecutor for real victims of crimes committed against them, this is somebody, I mean, honestly, you should commend President Trump for saving us from this woman, because who wants to watch or listen to her? The fact that she went up there, she put on this performance, it was god-awful. I mean, it was so fake, so orchestrated. There was nothing genuine or authentic about it. Now she's going after the family. She has no respect whatsoever for Barron Trump or for any child. I don't like that if my child saw that. You know, in terms of her behavior, I don't understand why she's unwilling to accept any personal responsibility for her conduct. She is not a victim. She is the perpetrator, and she is the one that went and did this cheap, grotesque stunt.
And I think that the President and First Lady's reactions were actually appropriate, rather mild and measured. Let me have you take a listen to Jamie Foxx, who commented on this today, Jesse, and then get your take on it.
Okay.
Don't kill the comedian. We don't mean any harm. You guys got to stop it. The world is filled with people that mean you harm, and we sit and we give them a pass. You understand what I'm saying? So I know she made a mistake or whatever, and we're all going to make mistakes. But you need us, man, because we're there to make you laugh.
Okay, I might actually agree with that because she made her apology, and actually that story had died yesterday.
Right.
She's the one who brought it back up with this press conference today.
I mean, it's like PR 101. You let the story die, you wait 6 months, and then you slowly ease your way back into the industry. You don't then give a press conference, feed more fuel to the fire, and then totally obliterate any credibility your other apology had.
You take a vacation.
You take a vacation, a pre-planned vacation. I almost think she kind of wants to be the next Rosie O'Donnell, where she wants to be, I'm Trump's public enemy #1, and I'm going to battle this guy out, and everybody can galvanize behind me, all the haters,
wants that
and I can then
I don't know if she's
play
smart
to these venues. And, you know, it's a hardcore venue, but she can play to them, and those are going to be her people. There's not a lot of revenue there. There's no commercial appeal, but that's possible. But this is what happens when you live in a left-wing cocoon. You live in a world of Trump hate, and then you cross the line into decent society, and decent society says, no, you can't do that. Your job's done. You know, you wake up, Kathy. This is how the real world is, and the media created an atmosphere like this, and now one of their own is paying a price.
Well, and even Senator Al Franken, who initially said that he would keep this planned event that they had together next month, he actually now has said he's not going to have her there either. So there are consequences for her actions.
Absolutely. And to me, what's interesting is that you see people like Franken, but I think lots of liberals who have condemned her and said, you know what you did, and, you know, going back to what Jamie Foxx had to say, yeah, comedians are there to make us laugh, but what she did wasn't funny.
Right.
In fact, I think one of the big critiques I've heard is that she somehow generated sympathy for Donald Trump in this act.
Right.
I mean, that's incredible, but she did it. But I will say this. I mean, I always have concern about selective outrage, as I've said in this case.
Right.
And I just think, well, boy, seems to me like, you know, CNN, the left, people like Al Franken have come down harder on her than anybody ever came down on Ted Nugent on the right when he was doing offensive things and making offensive statements.
Get Ted Nugent on the phone, Greg.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I'm sure Greg has him on
I think
the
there's
line.
something to be said for that.
But I think
right.
it's interesting to me if you look at who's defending it. So, you know, Kimberly was talking about Barron, and I see Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy guy, comes out, right? And he says, oh, you know, they're just putting Barron out there because that's to generate sympathy from the Trump camp. I don't know. I see Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, the comedian, Larry King, the former CNN host. They all say, hey, look, it was comedy. She was offensive, but let it go.
But one, don't you think, Kimberly, that actually the apology would have been fine if she then hadn't gone forward to file a lawsuit and say she's a victim?
Yeah, I mean,
did she file a lawsuit?
Oh, I don't know. Was there a lawsuit? Why is she with the lawyer?
But she didn't. The point is, she's with the lawyer. This is all planned.
I agree.
This is every step of the way.
Exactly, because she's just trying to now make herself some, you know, sympathetic public figure. But it's not. Her first apology wasn't even, you know, sufficient or good. She didn't apologize directly to the president, you know, or to her family. It was sort of to her fans, kind of. So she was not sincere. But she should have even left it at that, because now she's made it even worse by trying to go forward and pretend that she's a victim, even though it was her own personal choice and conduct that she engaged that was pre-planned, premeditated.
Why the Lisa Bloom lawyer stunt? Like, what is she doing there then?
Well, that's what they do. And someone's aggrieved, you come forward, and they have the lawyer by them.
Even if you don't plan to file a lawsuit?
Listen,
that's weird.
Well, who is she going to sue?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
why do you have the lawyer?
They do this so they go forward, and we have
anytime you bring a lawyer into the situation, it makes people back off a little bit.
To go forward and have a press conference because I have a legal redress to create the appearance. I think that she has some kind of actionable case. Which
you know what bothers me though is I think the whole idea of civil discourse is obviously at low ebb in our country. But this woman is a provocateur. She has been thrown off The View. She's been thrown off Letterman. Some people say she's thrown off Ellen DeGeneres because she says obnoxious things to get attention. Not funny. She's not an artist. She's not Maple.
But you know what, Juan?
She's just being rude.
But the press machine knew what she's all about. She was on an Emmy red carpet and made a sex joke about Jesus.
Right.
She was kicked off an E red carpet for making an inappropriate joke over 10-year-old Dakota Fanning. She was actually had to give her paycheck back to CNN at one point because she used the F word when she was talking about a 6-year-old boy. So everybody saw what she was all about, and they enabled her.
And why did they keep her on?
And then when she finally crosses, then everybody distances themselves. It's very convenient.
You know, I wish the right would do that.
You know,
we do.
You know what I think would be really interesting is if Donald Trump tweeted, You should tell him this tomorrow morning when he calls you. He should.
I don't advise him.
He should tweet, "Forgive her. Don't destroy her career. She's learned a lesson." And that will actually change the narrative on the Paris Accords, and it will blow people's minds. No, it'll blow people's minds, and it's actually a real easy, simple win.
Trump takes the high road.
Exactly.
Wow,
He said,
I like it.
You know what? She apologized. Let's let her live her life.
It's actually one of the best things that a leader can teach you is the power of forgiveness.
Yes, which
and politics is short term. Let it go. I mean, that would be amazing. She would be very lucky if that happened.
Unless Jesse's right, and actually she thinks she's advanced her career.
Well, I'm usually right, so we'll
she
see
wants
about
to.
that.
I think she wants to keep this going. She wants to be agreed, and that's what you're saying. Take the wind
I think
out
she
of
wants
it
your
by
seat,
saying, okay,
Juan.
sorry, enough.
She wants
one seat.
Oh, no.
I have to sit next to her.
No hugging, Jesse. No hugging.
For all of you who are mad at
Keep
Juan,
Juan.
think
Keep
about
Juan.
that.
Vote now.
Look at this.
Vote now.
Let him
Juan or Kathy.